Jeremy, thank you. In our top stories this morning, Dollywood is celebrating its 40th anniversary. There is almost always a long line coming out of the Grist Mill at Dollywood for its cinnamon bread. And Ansley Daniel got with the executive chef to show us how you can make it at home.
We're here inside the Grist Mill at Dollywood, and I wish that you could smell through the television because, of course, the famous cinnamon bread is made right here inside of this building. I'm joined today by Executive Chef Bobby Brown, who's getting ready to show us how to make this famous Dollywood treat. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm not going to show you. You're going to help us make it.
Well, I am ready to learn, so let's go ahead and get started.
Well, safety first, food safety. Let's get some gloves on.
All right.
And what we're going to start with is a basic yeast risen dough.
Okay.
So if you're trying to remake this at home, any one of your favorite yeast risen doughs you can substitute this with. Our first procedure is going to be to cut this right in half.
Okay.
Now what we're going to do is make the magic happen. We're going to create channel. We're going to cut channels in here about 3/4 of the way down.
So not all the way through.
No. What we're doing is we're creating pockets. That's going to trap the butter and the cinnamon sugar. It's going to give it all that ooey gooey sweet flavor when it's done baking. So again, 3 cuts for 4 sections, and if you want to do more at home, have at it. The more cuts and grooves and channels you give it, the more it's going to capture that butter and that cinnamon sugar goodness.
So what does cutting it in half do for it?
This is just our portion.
Okay.
This is how we make the loaves of bread. Easier for us to form it like this, and then this will give us 2 portions per loaf.
Speaking of portions, how many of these do you sell a day?
On average, between 2,700 and 3,000 a day.
Just out of this building?
Just out of this one location.
And so let's talk a little bit about how this has kind of become popular really over the last couple of years. It's always been a popular treat, but it seems like it's surged the last couple of years.
It seriously has its own following. We have people who come to the park with the "I'm here for the cinnamon bread" shirts. When I announced to my friends and family I was coming to work at Dollywood, the first question is, "Have you met Dolly?" I'm like, "Not yet." They're like, "Well, can you give me the cinnamon bread recipe?" I'm like, "I'm very sorry, but come on in and I'll gladly help you get some."
Well, let's go ahead and continue on with the recipe because I'm ready to learn.
All right, so our first step, we're going to get it dunked in this in our butter margarine blend.
Okay.
So go ahead. I'll have you do the cinnamon sugar.
All right.
What I'm working here is getting that butter margarine in between those grooves and those channels to capture all that cinnamon sugar. That's what's going to give you that ooey gooey goodness when it comes out of the oven.
Well, going through this many loaves a day and that much butter, how much butter do you go through every day?
About 40 to 45 gallons a day.
That is insane. That is a lot of butter.
Now what you're going to do is work that cinnamon sugar right on top.
So just like
And,
that?
yep, and then work it right in between those little grooves we cut in there. Yep. Now make sure you got no bald spots, get all nice and covered.
No bald spots. Yep. Got it.
Beautiful.
And in between.
Then flip it over.
Okay.
And just make sure it's all covered nice and well.
All
Beautiful.
Right.
Now pick it up and just stretch it out, put it right in the pan there.
Stretch it out?
Yep.
All right.
And so this is our step 1.
Okay.
This is how it looks after proofing for about an hour, and here's our finished product.
So you said it has to sit for about an hour?
About an hour. That's going to depend on how warm it is, how warm your kitchen is, your humidity in the air. Several factors go into how fast the bread will proof.
And then how high is the temperature that you cook it on?
We cook it at 350.
Okay, for how long?
For about 20-25 minutes.
All right, so it seems fast here, but it's kind of a lengthy process.
It can be, yeah. Our prep cooks come in as early as 6 a.m. to start getting all this ready for our guests in the park.
Well, like you just mentioned, now it seems like cinnamon bread has its own following, but you guys have had to revamp the grist mill because of that, right?
Definitely. We have had to do several remodels on how just to get the flow of the guests in to get the bread, and just so that the guests aren't feel like they're waiting forever to get the bread.
And I know that, like you said, sometimes you do unfortunately sell out sometimes.
Unfortunately, it does happen. We do have a backup plan with the bake shop. They sell it there on the way out the gate, but we work with each other to make sure that we don't negatively impact the guest experience here at the park.
All right, well, I do have to ask you, what is your favorite to dip it in, icing or apple butter?
I'm an icing person.
Okay, all right. Well,
but they call me a Yankee too. I'm from the north, so I don't know.
All right, well, there you have it. Pretty simple to make Dollywood's most popular treat here on the park. Now, again, you can make it at home. However, I prefer to get it here at the Grist Mill. Back to you.